Ain't no party like an Arty party, 'cause an Arty party don't stop. I would be remiss if I did not talk about the Abbotsford Canucks today. It's kind of funny. I haven't really had access to watching the Abby Canucks. I watch the live streams that are free on the internet whenever they're available. But this run that the Abbotsford Canucks have gone on in the AHL's Calder Cup Playoffs is absolutely astounding. And it was talked about yesterday on Sportsnet 650. If Abbotsford wins, because Game 5 in their best-of-7 series against the Florida Panthers AHL affiliate, the Charlotte Checkers, it's going on today. It was talked about on Sportsnet 650. The question was, if Abbotsford wins today, or if they win in general, where does the Abby Canucks Calder Cup win rank on the list of Vancouver Canucks organizational successes? It's got to be pretty high up there, right? I mean, the Vancouver Canucks as a hockey team, an NHL team, haven't had too much to cheer about. And the Abby Canucks now, just in their whatever year it is of their existence here, are in such a controlling position in the Calder Cup Finals. They have themselves all the momentum. Of course, knock on wood, it's not like they're guaranteed to winning. They can still find a way to lose. If there's any team or any franchise that can find a way to lose, it is anything related to the Vancouver Canucks. But the Abbotsford Canucks, for their sake, let's just hope that everything goes well tonight as they play off against Charlotte in game number 5. Funny part is, I think, Abbotsford is the biggest story for Canucks-related hockey endeavors at this moment, right? I mean, I've been sitting here trying to make videos about the Vancouver team and what they're going to do, but I should have just been talking about Abbotsford the entire time. And there has been no other Abbotsford Canuck who has shined more than what we have seen out of Arturs Silovs. Now, don't get me wrong, the team as a whole has been amazing. This is what J-Pat went out there and said. Regular season and playoffs, the Abbotsford Canucks have 5 regulation losses in their last 40 games. They ended the year 16-1-1 and are on a 15-7 record in the playoffs. Overall, they're 31-5-4 in their last 40 games, bro. The Abbotsford Canucks are a wagon. 31-5-4? They have almost as many overtime losses as they do regulation losses. If you just do the math here, I mean, okay, 31 times 2 plus 4 divided by 40 games multiplied by 2. The Abbotsford Canucks in this stretch are on a .825 points percentage run. That's ridiculous. 16-1-1, we already thought that was fantastic, and then they just continued to win in the playoffs. Now, Arty Party, he's gone out there and done some fantastic work too. Calder Cup final goalie stats, J-Pat tweeted this out. Canucks' Arturs Silovs has stopped 150 of 159 shots. He has a .197 goals against and a .943 save percentage. Checkers' Kaapo Kähkönen has stopped 80 of 94 shots. He has a .309 GAA and an .851 save percentage. It's been the huge edge in net for Abby so far this series. I mean, the numbers tell the entire story, right? Not to be confused with Kaapo Kähkö, but Checkers' Kaapo Kähkönen has gone out there and gotten severely outdueled by Arty Party Arturs Silovs. And with these stats fully presenting themselves now, it's gotten to a point where it was Rick Dhaliwal on Halford and Bruff last week who had spoken out about how NHL teams are now looking at Arturs Silovs as a potential trade option. If the Vancouver Canucks decide, okay, we're going to go with Demko and Lankinen, Silovs, you're the odd man out, the problem is Arty Party is waiver eligible for next season. He's 24 years old. So either the Vancouver Canucks decide that they send this guy down on waivers and he gets claimed, or the Canucks trade him. Either that or they just decide to use him at the National Hockey League level, which at that point you would have to decide, are you going to go with a triple goalie rotation, Demko, Lankinen, Silovs, or are you going to trade away one of Lankinen or Demko? You wouldn't trade Lankinen because you just signed him to an extension. Thatcher the Snatcher, who knows what's going on there. But also, what was mentioned by Dhaliwal last week on the radio, I thought it was really interesting. The last time Vancouver's AHL affiliate made it this far in the Calder Cup Playoffs, it was the Utica Comets with Jacob Markstrom in net, when Markstrom was also 24 years old. When Markey was 24 and the Utica Comets made the finals, he had a .925 save percentage in 23 games played as a 24-year-old in the Vancouver Canucks organization. This was shortly after he had gotten traded for Roberto Luongo. He was sent down to Utica, and he went through waivers. He passed. Nobody claimed him. And then long-term, we recognize that Markstrom became the goalie that he became. Arturs Silovs is arguably better than what Jacob Markstrom provided in that Calder Cup Finals performance. Unfortunately, Utica did not end up winning in that 2014-2015 campaign. But they still made a really good run. I believe they fought the LA Kings farm team? Yeah, the Manchester Monarchs, that's who it was. Anyways, that was a decade ago. 24-25, 2014-2015. So 1 decade later, Vancouver is getting yet another stellar goaltender performance out of a potential NHL caliber backup in Arturs Silovs. He had this post also made by Jeff Patterson. Per the AHL, Arturs Silovs is 10-2 with a 149 goals against and a .945 save percentage and 4 shutouts in 12 starts at Abbotsford Center this postseason. The game is going to be at the Abbotsford Center. And if there's anything we have learned about Arturs Silovs is that when he needs to dial in, aside from some of those long shots, he can dial in. Team Latvia, World Championships, Vancouver Canucks, NHL Playoffs, Abbotsford Canucks, Calder Cup Playoffs, and the Calder Cup Finals. The guy has a .933 save percentage in totality in the 22 games played he has had, and his save percentages in the finals games, they've all been fantastic. Arturs Silovs hasn't had a game under a .920 save percentage in almost 3 weeks. The guy has a .941 in game number 4 against Charlotte, a .966 in game 3 against Charlotte, a .929 overtime loss against Charlotte, still had 42 shots against, and then a .944 save percentage in game 1 with 51 saves. I mean, Charlotte has been totally out-goaltended here by Arturs Silovs, and I guess the biggest question is what happens next. Artie Party, if he wins the Calder Cup, if he wins the MVP or whatever the award is for the AHL's playoff championship team, whatever it is that he wins or whatever he accomplishes, my question is what happens in 25-26? Do the Vancouver Canucks commit with Demko Lankinen? Or do they decide that the future is now, that Thatcher the Snatcher is made of glass, and that Artie Party can be the second goaltender behind Lankinen long term? Silovs, might I remind you, was terrible with the Vancouver Canucks in the 23-24 campaign, especially at the beginning. He set the tone very poorly with that first game against the Calgary Flames where the Canucks blew the lead and was ultimately set onto a path of despair. Yeah, it blows my mind how in 23-24 the Vancouver Canucks had that crazy record of closing out games. They were like, 20-something, 30-something and 0 in games where they were leading after the second period? That was 23-24, and then 24-25, the first game of the season, bam, huge comeback from behind loss at the hands of the Calgary Flames. Arturs Silovs was in net for that, 700 save percentage, whoop-de-doo. He's looking a lot better now. But where exactly does that go next year? Game number 5 is on later tonight. Abbotsford versus Charlotte, 6 p.m. PST, and I believe the game is on NHL Network, which is going to be cool. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, not just about the final series between these two powerhouses, but about Arturs Silovs and his story so far. What are your thoughts on how he's going to perform towards the end of this final series, and what are your thoughts on the future? Where does Artie take his party next year? Let me know in the comment section all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.